I want to have a conversation with you that I was going to have with Ted Cruz, and we'll have to, talk to him again later. But I want to have a conversation with you and give you the information that anybody who is willing to stand needs to know. If you are really, truly willing to stand. I mean, he's doing a great job so far, but let's remember, he was elected last November.
And took office in January. So,
yeah, so
it's just been a few weeks.
What is it? Is it February 1st today?
Oh, yeah, it is.
So it's February. So last month he went in, and they have now started the slings and arrows, and
he's getting a dose of it.
Oh yeah, he's getting a dose of it, and I just want to share with you on the other side of this next break some things that anybody who is willing to stand. We're entering the times that will try men's souls, and it's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. We will weather it together. That's what he said at the end. He said, we just got to get through this together. We just have to know in advance the game that they're playing and exactly what will happen. And I will tell you what will happen to Ted Cruz when we come back. We just had Ted Cruz on, and I've talked to a couple of the new freshmen in both the House and the Senate in the last week or two, and they're shocked at what they see in Washington and the attitude of those who have been there for a while. They just don't, I think people see it differently in Washington of what we're facing and what's happening, and that's apparent because they do not walk the way we do in the rest of the country, or anybody who is concerned, and they just don't think we're facing something as colossus as the rest of us do. I don't know how, but I guess maybe it's because they think they're the experts now. And I had a senator talk to me about what, how do we beat this system? Because you have it on the inside and the outside. You have it from the Democratic Party, you have it from the progressives, and you have it also from the Republicans. And then the media is involved. And how do you make it? And what I wanted to say to Ted Cruz here, and we ran out of time, but I'll say to you because I think it is perspective that everyone should have. And that is, gather yourself together in groups. And that means whether you are in Congress or your town, gather yourself together in groups. It's strength in numbers. And when I say that, I mean almost everything that you do. When you go to church on Sunday, stop going to a church where you are alone. Stop going to the church where you are thinking they're not preaching what I go find one that does. Stop with tradition. Stop with convenience. If those traditions are not strengthening you and strengthening the message and the meaning behind those traditions. There's a lot of people that go to church because, well, we've always gone here, or we've done this, or we've done that. Don't do that anymore. We have to change our traditions. Because quite honestly, our traditions have already been changed. You look at Christmas. What has it become? If you look back at Christmas with the founders all the way up into the 1860s during Reconstruction, Christmas was not the way it is now. Our traditions are changing, and many of them already have been. Christmas was about Christ. Christmas was about service. Christmas was about thanksgiving and prayer and all the things that are meaningful. Christmas was about getting together with family. Now it is about gifts, buying stuff, stress. That's not, get out of that tradition. and restore the tradition. What is the tradition of 4th of July? When the founders were around, that tradition was about Thanksgiving, recommitment, education, service. Now it is solely about let's go out to the beach or let's get, some hot dogs. Let's go watch a fireworks show. And that fireworks show is what? James Brown and Bruce Springsteen. And maybe a Celine Dion song in there. And you're like, what? You don't even know what it is anymore. Get away from that tradition and restore that tradition. What are you doing with your family every night? And I say this not as somebody who's preaching to you, because my wife and I were up last night. We were sitting straight up in bed, and we were talking about how worried we were for the kids and how we're bluffing as parents. We started watching the Andy Griffith Show 2 nights ago. Got it on Netflix. Just started watching the Andy Griffith Show, 1 episode a day. Just trying to find something that makes sense. Reading the scriptures with them every single night. And I know that's not their favorite thing to do. And the society is telling my second oldest daughter told me just the other day. She said, Dad, as much as you don't want to hear this, she was working on Overton 2, the follow-up of the Overton window, which I hope, is coming out this summer. And she said, it's much better, Dad. And I said, you mean in the rewrite? And she said, no, it's much better than the first one. She said, quite honestly, I didn't like the first one. And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? You're talking to your father. I said, what do you mean? And she said, it's, as much as you don't like it, Dad, when you talk in church tones, or you talk about, Bible stuff, or you talk about the tri-corner hats, or you're quoting the founders, people in my generation, it's been made to be something that you mock. And so we don't listen to it. It's frightening stuff. It's frightening stuff. So gather yourself together in groups. Advice to Ted Cruz and to you. Find those people that are rock solid and then hang on to each other. Tie a rope to each other and hang on and help each other and strengthen each other and ask, are you okay? What's going on? Because the darkness will close in on you and it will play games with you.